Hello and welcome back, everyone, to Harmony Dissonance on the Game Boy Advance on Rocket Rabbit Commentaries. And in this episode, we will be continuing through Castle A Skeleton Cave. You'll notice that a majority of the enemies in the Skeleton Cave are actually extremely weak and early on. I don't understand why this is, to be perfectly honest. Because you don't really get access to the Skeleton Cave, to the A portion of the Castle A's Skeleton Cave until you defeat Pazuzu. Like, you pretty much have to defeat Pazuzu in order to get to this segment. But here we get one of the coolest bosses, GranFalcon, also known as Undead Legion.
Let us throw our chain and bowls at him.
Legion Corpse. Yeah, Undead Legion. I love this fucking fight. But as past Gerdat mentions, yes, as with the majority of the boss fights in this game, this is mostly a fucking joke.
I mean, he's not really doing all that much.
He's not, honestly. The Saint Legion form was much more threatening, and even he didn't do all that much. At least he had the lasers during Phase 2. Legion Corpse doesn't even get Phase 2. You open him up, and then you whip him, and then you whip him the fuck up. That's all that happens in this fight. Yes, these grubs that crawl on the ground can surprise you with how much damage they do, but that's it. That's the entire fucking fight.
Yeah, it's a lot easier when you got a ball and chain attachment. Our balls are bigger. The steel tip ought to be...
Get the good there, but we didn't. We got the Cypher's Charm. Yes, Legion Corpse is in fact an optional boss, because the Cypher's Charm, all it does is make it so that your spells cost less while you have it equipped. And cool. I don't ever use it, because it's not a really good equipment then.
You love Salamandra.
I don't usually need more than like 2 spell casts per boss fight, so...
Well, also get a third cast with Salamandra and just make it a fucking cakewalk.
Hey, Mimic.
Ha! That guy looks like Oogie Boogie.
Yeah, so does his palette form, but we'll only get to see him very later on. Hint card number 5. What one does this say? They say there is a book with the power to summon monsters. That is very true. One of the elemental spell books that we can get is the summon book. And there we have the final piece of our luck equipment. Yep, the luck ring.
The rare ring.
Yeah, the rare ring. It increases, it doesn't actually increase our luck, but it does increase the drop rate of every item in the game. So it honestly replaces the luck item, usually.
Yeah, I would think that you would prefer rare items over uncommon items. This guy looks like he belongs in a Kirby game. A late-level Kirby game.
He does, but thankfully he is not there, because he would end up pulling a Marks on us, and we don't need more Markses in Kirby, to be perfectly honest. Forgotten Land effectively pulls the Marks trick again, but it does so with a surprise baddie twist ending, as opposed to him being, you know, an expositional NPC.
On a scale of 1 to 10, where 10 is, oh boy, I can't wait to hug him, and 0 is, oh god, get away from me, how cuddly were the enemies in the very last Kirby game you were playing, Mr. Gerdat?
Well, the Beast Pack specifically are like 8 or 9, but Elfin himself is an 11.
Just saying, like, come here, you. I have to hug you.
I must hug the Elfin. Him's so cute. Him's got ear damage, and him's green, and him's float. That's very, very nice.
Cuddly elephants. Elephants are very cuddly.
This specifically is the block pushing puzzles that I always have problems with. I do believe I'm just going to end up jump cutting to the solution for this one, but come on.
Oh, yeah.
Nope, we screwed it up.
Dang it. You see,
it's
Juice
very
does
close
not
to the
push
solution
blocks.
that we want, but it's not the actual solution that we want.
Juice does not push blocks. He just walks into them menacingly until he intimidates them into motion. Yep, now we can't move any of the blocks, so we have to reset the room. Thank you, Jump Cut.
Yeah.
Show us the solution.
We were right to push this one. Oh, we were right to push this one down, but
Okay,
we weren't supposed to push it all the way down. We want to push it a little bit further. There we go.
Okay, and then, yep, because now you got a little room to actually push this block so that it lands on... What the fuck? Now, how the fuck does this make sense, except in a game where blocks don't actually have physics?
Well, that's the thing. The blocks don't fall until they're actually all the way across. So
this does not function.
I mean, it wouldn't function as a Jenga tower, but it functions here. So, ouch.
Ow, white dragon.
This is extremely important. You need to solve this block puzzle in order to get the floodgate key, and without the floodgate key, you cannot progress through the rest of the story. We will not be using the floodgate key for quite a bit yet, though, so just know that we got this. Also, know that we break this wall. Breaking this wall right now is not important, but it is important later, after we use the floodgate key.
Yep, because it affects what happens in the other castle. And when we open the floodgates, we will flood this cavern.
We're not going to flood this cavern, no, but we will be flooding a cavern. Specifically, the luminous caves of Castle A. We're going to be unflooding rather.
And what happened next? Well, in Dracula's castle, they say that Juice
got smacked apart by multiple bats and was angry about it.
That doesn't rhyme.
It doesn't matter. Dr. Suess barely rhymed when he was actually alive anyway.
He wasn't even really a doctor.
He wasn't a doctor. Although that honestly makes his success all the more worthwhile because, yeah, Dr. Suess was a very important part of my childhood, but that does not necessarily mean that all of his media representations have been successful. I'm looking at you, Lorax.
Walk it in my pocket. 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 Dr. Suess.
Are you a fan of the of all the different iterations of the Grinch that we've had, Mr. Cloud?
I haven't seen the most recent one with Kenan Thompson playing the Grinch himself. I miss that one. The Grinch that's near and dear to my heart, of course, is the Jim Carrey incarnation of 2002, which was so bleeding offensive. It was actually amazing that it managed to keep a PG rating.
I really dislike that one personally. Although the anti-consumerism message in that one is really strong, it's like the only part of the original text that actually fucking made it into the movie.
Well, how about the part where Jim Carrey's Grinch first arrives in Whoville in order to accept the Cheermeister award and then lands directly into the love interest's bosom? Like, hello, fellas, how are you?
Well, that's mostly a Jim Carrey bit where Jim Carrey gets to be Jim Carrey, so not necessarily one of his better bits, but definitely a bit that he can pull off.
Max, fetch me my sedative.
Alright, so I'm not entirely sure why we're showing the backtrack out of Skeleton Cave. Maybe it's because we leveled up against the skeleton classes again, or maybe it's because I just want all of you to suffer with us as we attempt to find commentary on what is, very clearly filler. Because as we've mentioned multiple times now, the big problem that Harmony of Dissonance actually has is the fact that traversing the castle for most of the game gets, well, less interesting as the game goes on. You end up doing a bunch of backtracking that the game honestly doesn't feel like it's designed with in mind, but it's most certainly designed around.
Yeah, the reason why they give you teleportation options in Legend of Zelda and other games where you gain abilities that improve how thoroughly you can search an area is so you don't have to go through the fucking area, back to front on the route like you drive in a car and you take the wrong turn on the highway. Just give us the fast travel option so that, because the memory retrieval is difficult enough as it is. Now you are frustrating the player because it takes a considerable amount of time to recover from mistakes in traversing the area to go to the actual place where your items apply.
We got the bookcase and the phonograph, though, so there. Mwah.
Phonograph.
Yes, past Gerdat, the castle drawing is very nice. Are you going to jump cut us to the luminous caverns even though we're right next to it?
Isn't the
No,
plumage
here we
beautiful?
go. Castle 8 Luminous Caverns. This is honestly like the second to last major area of the game. The final area of the game for us is actually Castle Entrance in Castle B. But don't be surprised if you get caught off guard with how much HP these enemies have. Because, yeah, this is the second to last major area in the game. And you'll notice that the coloration here is explicitly trying to tell you that this is a much damper environment. We won't get to see what that means because we end up solving that puzzle before we actually see that it's a puzzle that we need to solve.
Nah.
One thing that I have to compliment Harmony of Dissonance for that other Igavanians do slightly worse than it, however, is specifically enemy density. Despite the fact that this is one of the last areas that we'll get to in the game, it honestly is somewhat sparsely packed with enemies. Like almost every enemy that we fight going through this trip through Luminous Caverns is a solo enemy, and very rarely do they actually gang up on us. So we don't really have to deal with multiple different enemy patterns converging on us at once. And here is a Castlevania 1 reference: a drumstick.
A single drumstick. Like, where's the rest of the chicken?
No, well, Simon ate the rest of that chicken, so there.
So you realize that this single chicken wing has been sitting here for 25 years, but it's so good with barbecue sauce. Yeah, I see what you mean. That they're okay. Well, now we got a pixie and a man-eater in the same frame. This man-eater should go down pretty quickly. Yep,
yeah.
Because it has the same amount of health as the man-eaters we were seeing earlier, because that is not a palette swap. That is just another man-eater like the ones we were seeing earlier in the game.
Yep.
Nice. And because of our improved whip damage, we can very quickly go through these sparsely populated enemy areas.
Yes.
Oh,
Unfortunately, because of the way that the enemy patterns work for Pixie and Witch, because I'm not able to kill them with a single cast of Salamandra, it just ends up pushing them off screen.
Where they despawn for all eternity.
They're not despawned. They're still there. It's just that we're not dealing with them. Are you ready for another recurring boss, Mr. Cloud?
Oh, am I ever. When are we not fighting a recurring boss?
It is the Living Armor again. Hi, Living Armor. Oh, shit!
Huh. Bet you thought it was the Living Armor. Nope, it is his older brother, Talos.
Yeah, Talos is back. Talos was effectively the robot, the giant robotic knight that we were running from in the intro. Now that we have to actually fight him, we have to deal with the fact that he is significantly larger than we are. So dealing with him can be an issue, especially when this happens.
Oh, we got behind him. Yeah, that's not good. Because now we can't hit his shin.
Any good options for attempting to go through Talos here. So what we end up doing here specifically is waiting for him to finish killing us.
All right, now jump cut back to the boss fight. Game over. Ring. Konami. Start menu. Save. Jump cut. We did not jump cut.
No, we did not jump cut.
We are showing the entire process.
Well, yeah, we are gonna try again. We are gonna try Talos again in the next part. We don't take Talos down this part, but we will take Talos down in the next part. Be safe, everybody. Evil disc armors.
Thank Talos.